This is Don Buster here from WagerTalk, and this is the series from WagerTalk called Behind the Better. And you're going to get to know a little bit about me. I'll answer some of these questions that they have, and let's get at it. First question. Do you remember your first sports bet? If so, what was it? Well, I do remember my first sports bet. We'll go back to where they used to have the parlay cards when I was young. But I'm going to talk about my first sports bet when I actually used a bookmaker. And that was, I just turned 19 years old. I'm a diehard Baltimore Oriole fan. And I found out that you could bet sports. I had no idea that you could do that at 19. I knew that you could bet parlay cards and all these other things, but I didn't know that with a bookmaker. So I meet this guy. I'm a Baltimore Oriole fan. I bet $250 on the Baltimore to beat the White Sox. And then he says to me, you know, you can double that money. So that's what I do. I bet them to beat the Phillies. And Baltimore, they haven't won another World Series since 1983. And then I'm sitting there, and I find out, he says to me after I collect my winnings, you know, you can bet hockey too. You're a hockey fan, and I am a Montreal Canadiens fan, and 32 years later, I'm still betting. What's the biggest mistake you see sports bettors making today? Well, for me, that's easy. People chase. And it's just, I don't know if there's, with gamblers, we're all missing a little bit of a gene or whatever. People will chase. I remember chasing even way earlier when I knew I wasn't supposed to chase, like 10, 15, 20 years ago. I don't do it anymore, but it's even funny. People will chase not only their losses, they'll chase their wins. They'll set up and they'll have 3 or 4 games. They've won their games, and then they want to bet the late college football, late college basketball. Yeah, do not chase. That's the big thing. I know everybody talks money management, and of course, there's so many other things that you can discuss with that. But to me, don't chase winners, don't chase your losers. College football Saturdays or NFL Sundays? Well, it used to be NFL Sundays for years for me when I was like in my early 20s, but now it's definitely college football on the Saturday. It reminds me, I'm a big college basketball fan as well. It reminds me, every Saturday reminds me of basically doing the March Madness, the Thursday and Friday March Madness, watching from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock, noon to midnight. It's the same thing with college football Saturdays. Noon Eastern, right to midnight, catching that Hawaii game. Definitely for me, college football Saturdays. The next, if you could only bet one sport for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now, that's tough because I'm really a big fan of college basketball, big fan of college football, as I said. My bread and butter has been CFL football. I do very well at it. It's been the best sport for probably 20 years for me, betting CFL football. Of course, NHL hockey is probably is my favorite. So betting-wise, definitely CFL football if I had to do one, but NHL is right there. What's the best sporting event you have ever attended? Well, I've attended a lot. I've been very lucky. I've been to 5 Final Fours, been a bunch of Stanley Cup Finals. Never been to a Super Bowl. I've tried to get there, but never been. Something usually happens or whatever. But I'm going to give you a couple events because they're both right there. I was at the Final Four in 1997 in Indianapolis when Miles Simon and the Arizona Wildcats beat Kentucky in overtime. That was a great Final Four in Indianapolis. The other one, I was in Buffalo when Brett Hall put his foot in that crease, and they still won the cup in 3 overtimes. So, like I say, I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of great events, but definitely those 2 are probably the best by far. What's your most memorable sports bet? Maybe the last one? No. As far for me, I think they both involve NFL, and like most guys, most gamblers have been doing this for all the time. You don't remember the winners. You seem to always remember those really bad losers. And I had two of them, and a lot of people had the one with Atlanta in the Super Bowl. New England scores 19 points to tie it up in the fourth. They beat them in overtime, and every Atlanta fan is sick to this day. I still have scar tissue from this game. It was the Jacksonville-San Diego game when Jacksonville won and beat them. I think it was 31-30, whatever, but Jacksonville had a 27-0, San Diego had a 27-0 lead. That was just like 3 years ago. That's a memorable bet for me, and like I say, for some reason you always remember the big losses, not the big wins, because we're supposed to expect a win, right? What's the best gambling movie ever? Well, I mean, there's lots of great gambling movies. Let It Ride. A lot of people, there's a movie I like, even though a lot of people, it's probably not too how true it is that Molly's Game. I thought that was an excellent movie. But truthfully, you can name all kinds of rounders, all kinds of gambling movies. I'm going to let you know a little bit about myself and what I think and my personality. I have two favorite movies. My favorite is The Usual Suspects. Thought that was the best movie. I've watched it probably 10 times. I always loved that scene where the guy's in there trying to draw the guy and find out who's the guy that killed all the people. And Kaiser Sose. The guy finally gives up who he is. That's great. The other movie I really like, and it's up there, it's a little bit of a mind screw with, but it's Vanilla Sky. And that Vanilla Sky, and to this day I kind of use references from that for people. You might want to try this when you're out having a few drinks with your guys, because in that movie it talks about your choices. Every choice you make changes the choice of your life. And I kind of believe in that kind of stuff. The choice for me to come down here and record this today will have a change of what I do the rest of my life compared to whether I did or if I did or not. So, but try this with your friends. So if a guy wants to order a beer, you're all at the bar and one of your friends is really drunk and you want to put them through a little bit, tell them, oh, you're getting a Ryan Coke this time? Or, oh, you're getting a shot of tequila? You know that shot of tequila, what decision you make there will change the rest of your life. Do that with some friends. It just drive them crazy thinking about it. Other than sports betting, what's your favorite way to gamble? Well, people will say this is a gambling, but I play the stock market, and I think that is the ultimate gamble, to tell you the truth. And horse racing. My really first love was horse racing. I still go every year to Saratoga Racetrack in New York, upstate New York. Been to a lot of nice tracks. I really want to get out to Del Mar and Santa Anita. That'll happen one day, but yeah, really like horse racing. And again, the stock market is probably one of the things I like as far as betting.